Hey guys, on today's math number corner lesson, we'll pretty much be finishing up our calendar. All right. So, looking at our calendar so far, we've noticed some patterns where it goes an array, a pizza, a clock, carton of eggs or a dozen eggs, a ruler, and then it goes back. But then it looks like it goes two here to four here. These are all 12, right? This is 12, not 12, but this goes to 12, 12, 12. This goes to 12. This goes to 12. So it goes two here and it adds two more to here. This one goes one and then it adds another one. So looking at our calendar so far, this is two out of 12 total. An equivalent fraction, remember that, would be what? Pause if you need to. Would be 1/6. This is also 1/6. One pizza is left out of a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 1/6. Again, this is 2 out of 12. This is also 2 out of 12. That is also two eggs out of 12. And our ruler here is 2 inches out of 12 inches total. So the cards that are out of 12 and they have two, that's the equivalent fraction is also 1/6, right? And then we notice that we go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 6, 3 out of 6. An equivalent fraction for 3 out of 6 is 1/2. An equivalent fraction for 6 out of 12 is 1/2. So the last one that we did was on Saturday. That was our ruler that went to 10 out of 12. 10 out of 12. Remember, if we're writing that as an equivalent fraction, we have 10 out of 12. Remember what I told you, a strategy we could do to find an equivalent fraction is divide the top and bottom number, denominator and numerator, by the same number. If we divided each one by 2, we get 10 divided by 2. How many 2's would go into 10 would be 5. How many 2's would go into 12? 6. So equivalent fraction is 5/6. So we left Saturdays with what 10 out of 12. So what might we expect for Sundays if we're looking for that one? Pause if you need to. Full. All of them are red. 12 out of 12, right? So what's an equivalent fraction for 12 out of 12? What does that equal? 12 out of 12. That's a whole, right? 12 pieces of pizza have been eaten, and we were talking about 12 altogether. So an equivalent fraction is 1. 100 over 100 would equal what? Right? 1. It's the whole. We're counting for every piece of pizza here, or every part of our array on this one right down here would be 12 out of 12. Okay? So what might we expect to be the next one? It would be pizza, right? 12. We had 12 out of 12 on our array. What might we expect out of that one? Whole pizza, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of pizza total, and there's 6 pieces left. So 6 pieces is divided equally into 6 pieces, and there's 6 pieces left. All right. So today is the 28th. Yesterday was the 28th. Ooh, the whole clock is filled, right? Because the last one we had, it had 10 out of 12 filled. And now we're talking about the whole clock face being filled, right? So 12 out of 12. And remember with our pizza, 6 out of 6 equals 1 whole, right? So what might we expect for that one? Boom. Our little chicken laid 12 eggs, filled up the whole case here. 12 out of 12, right? And so for tomorrow, what might we expect? The whole ruler being filled in, right? 12 out of 12, 12 inches out of 12 inches. Okay? So what we learned on here is we learned some equivalent fractions. 2 out of 12, two pieces of this array, two sections of this array are covered. 2 out of 12, two sections out of 12 sections are red. So what fraction, if we were looking at that, what's an equivalent fraction to 2/12? Divide the top number by the same, top and bottom number by the same number. 2 divided by 2, always, whatever it is, the number divided by itself is always 1. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. How many times will 2 go into 12? 6 times. 1/6. 1/6. Okay. So we talked about half hours a couple sessions ago. So now we're going to talk about quarter of an hour, right? We're looking at a clock face. Often you hear people refer to quarter hours. So this is 1 quarter, this is a quarter, that's a quarter, and then that's a quarter. 4 quarters, right? 4 quarters in an hour. 4 quarters in $1, right? You all know somebody flips you a quarter, the round little hard money. 1 quarter equals how many cents? 25 cents. Does 1 quarter of an hour equal 25 minutes? No, right? Because we can divide 60 minutes, divide by 4. How many times will 4 go into 16? So if you're unsure, you could count, right? Because 12 here and then to 1, how many minutes? Remember? 5 minutes. So we can say 5, 10, 15. 1 quarter hour is 15 minutes. Okay? So 1 quarter hour equals 15 minutes. Okay? 1 quarter hour is 15 minutes. There to here is 15 minutes. So how far is it from here to here? Right, 15 minutes. Here to here, 15 minutes. Here to here, 15 minutes. Okay? So think about this. How many quarter hours are there in 1 1/2 hour? 1 1/2 hour. How many quarter hours? Think about that. We talked about there are 4 quarters in an hour, right? So 4 quarters. We looked at that just a minute ago. 1 quarter, 2 quarter, 3 quarter, 4 quarter. Okay, so 4 quarters in an hour. So how many is in a half an hour? Right. 6 quarters in an hour. You can also look at this. If you're unsure, you can look at it and like how many quarters would be in $1.50. So $1.50, 6 quarters. Okay. Even though you're talking about units of time versus units of money, if you get confused, you can kind of use that strategy. But remember, in a quarter hour, you're not talking about cents, you're talking about minutes. There's 60 minutes in an hour, 100 pennies in $1. So 5, 10, 15, that's 1 quarter. 5, 10, 15, 2 quarter. 5, 10, 15, 3 quarter. 5, 10, 15, 4/4. Okay. So don't let that confuse you, but quarter hours are 15 minutes long. So you can always, find a clock face and count 5, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. Do your Unit 7 quick facts. Okay. Good job.